Hello again, YouTube. This is the truth, man. This video will be pretty short. I just uploaded some videos that I already made. In this particular video, I want to talk a little bit about how you can escape the matrix. How you can escape the matrix. I mean, it's not easy because the people that you trust are in it. And the people that you trust are going to try to keep you in it with what they believe is true. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the components of the matrix, and I'm going to give you some ways, some keys on escaping. Because you're going to have the whole key ring of escaping the matrix. I'm going to write a book about this. And I'm going to give little bits and pieces, but I'm not going to give everything on it because people, sometimes people will take the things that's meant to make room for you or whatever, and they'll make room for themselves, and it didn't even originate with them. So I'm gonna give you some keys on how to escape, and some of the components of the matrix. Okay, the number one component of the matrix is education. Let's start with that. Okay, education. You got some matrix people that tell you the only way you're going to get a good job in this world is to go to college. That's not true. There's training that you can get and you'll make more than people in college. Like, I make more with some aspects of the gig economy than people who actually graduated from college sometimes and found jobs. Like, if you give them 16 hours and give me 16 hours out here, and let's see who makes more. Because a lot of them are going to be on salary. They're not going to get anything extra from working 16 hours. But I would. And then also people say, like I said, you need to go to college to find a good job. And like I said, that's not true. And even going back to kindergarten, you become indoctrinated in school. You get indoctrinated with everything but a creator's existence, everything but that. They basically teach you to believe that there's no God. And I ain't saying nothing to violate community guidelines. I'm practicing my amendment rights. I'm not saying anything offensive or damaging to people. So those that are in charge of these videos, please just hear me out. So we learn theories in school, but we don't learn economics. And that's why a lot of us end up growing up and having to file bankruptcy. A lot of schools don't have a lot on economics, because part of getting out of the matrix is getting your economics together, getting your finances together. Because see, if you got your finances together, it's going to be hard for you to be in that matrix unless you get it by fraud or deceit or by belonging to evil. But yeah, education is part of the matrix because they use, and even if you go to a lot of these colleges, you'll see the professors putting their theories and their ideals on the students. And the students who don't agree with them don't do well in their classes. So yeah, the number one is education. Now, how do you beat this? How do you beat this indoctrination? How do you beat this these ideals that you got to go to college to get a good job? Number one, you either homeschool or unschool your kids. That's number one. And if you do put your kids in school, make sure that it is a private school or a suburban private school where they're not being damaged by damaged people. You see what I mean? Because the matrix is like a big wall, it's a wall. And behind that wall of public school here in Milwaukee especially, you got these wannabe thugs. You got people who don't go to class. You got people who doing everything but what they're supposed to do in school. And the kids that do what they're supposed to do in school are laughed at, bullied, etc. So number one, you either homeschool your kids or you unschool your kids. Or if you choose to have your kids in school with other kids, put them in a suburban private put them in a pub or a private school or a suburban public school and teach them how to defend themselves physically. Teach them how to box, teach them kickbox, whatever you got to do. Teach them how to defend themselves and teach them to be at peace with people but fear no one. That's how you overcome all these obstacles in the education matrix. And if the kids try to gang up on your kid, take them out of that school and put them in another school. Don't think you doing something by keeping them in that school. Don't. The second obstacle or second component of the matrix is religion. The Bible and the books associated with the Bible that the Bible is derived from do not say that Christianity or Islam or any of these major religions of the world are the chosen faith. It's big business. Somebody was just telling me that Kenneth Copeland is worth $700 million. You got several preachers that are worth millions of dollars. And then when you look at their doctrine is quite different from what's taught in the Bible. Think about that now. I'm going to watch what I say on here. I want people to be able to see this and make their own judgment. So I'm going to watch what I say on there. But just think about that for a minute. That religion is just like school. Like as you learn the basics and you add to the basics that you learn, you should be able to draw your own conclusions on that matter or that particular subject. And religion is the same. Like when you first trying to make your peace with God, you probably should go to a Christian church. But as you do research, you should be studying the Bible, researching the Bible, taking everything that's mentioned in the Bible, putting it in category, and seeing what the rest of the Bible teaches about it. Bouncing everything off of the original Torah of the Bible. And compare it to what was taught previously in previous eras from when this Bible was taught. And you have to learn, where did this teaching come from? Where did that teaching come from? How can they validate this teaching? To get out of the matrix of religion, you have to do research. And as I did research, I found out that a lot of these faiths are tied together, like I said on the last broadcast, through fish gods that were mentioned in the past. Look at some of the holidays they celebrate. You got these same people saying they sanctified and they holy, but yet they keep evil holiday. They practice the keeping of evil holidays that have always been looked at as evil. So like I said, for you to avoid the matrix of religion, you have to do your research. When I research, I find that the only thing that you can't tie to sun worship and all these other deities is the commandments. The commandments, even some of the ceremonial laws, you can tie that to previous deities and sun worship. So that's the way you escape it. And then you have to have in your mind with all of this, everything I'm going to show you, you have to have it in your mind that the truth matters, people don't. The truth matters, people don't. Get out of the matrix. You got to get rid of your fears of people and what they can and will do. And you have to know your Creator and know that He lives and that He will bring you to His kingdom. See, all that Christian, all this stuff about virgin births, all this stuff, that in the big scheme of things, that stuff, it don't even matter like they make it matter. What matters is me, what I believe about God, what He believes about me, and how He views me. That's what matters. Not people. Forget these people. People are evil. Going back, you got to learn, for you to get out of the matrix, you got to respect everybody, but understand that they are mere people. Most of them. Some of them ain't even people. We ain't gonna get in. That's a little too deep. We ain't, So yeah, religion. You got to do your own research, and you got to learn all the beliefs, or a lot of the beliefs, the major beliefs, and learn what are they tied to, what are they associated with, and who. Next thing, we're talking money. Now, money, the reason why they always telling us that the economy is bad on the news, because they know and they fully understand that their best chance of controlling the people is to limit their finances. To limit their finances. To get you to either finance through debt, or to somehow, some way, whatever method they can use against you to keep you from having freedom. See, the matrix is bondage. There's bondage and there's freedom. Freedom, remember I just mentioned education, homeschool. That's why they hate homeschool. That's why they hate homeschool, because it's freedom. You go on vacation when you want. You teach when and how and however long or however short. They don't like that. They want you to have to answer to them. That's the main goals of the matrix. Religion, same thing. Oh yeah, if you ain't in our church, then you got a wrong spirit, and you blah 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 blah. Remember what I tell you about people all the time. I teach you every day how to get out of the matrix, and you spending all your time and your money supporting people that's not showing you this stuff. So when it comes to money, how do you avoid the matrix? How are you in the matrix? If you're on welfare, you're in the matrix. If you are on salary, you're in the matrix. Any job that you could have where you work for other people instead of for yourself or with other people, like through you're a contractor or you whatever, you're in the matrix. Prime example, the city workers and county workers here in this area were first forced to do something. Read between the lines. Matrix. So the way you escape the matrix with money is from day one. From day one, you begin to do the things which the most successful people do. What do the most successful people money-wise in this country and this world do? They own, they mass produce, they save, they invest. So you got to go from being a consumer to being a producer. You consume after you produce. Don't consume before you produce. You consume after you produce. And you limit your consumption. Because see, it's kind of like building a house. You got to get those bricks all the way to the top, and you got to complete the whole entire building. If you spending the bricks or you breaking the bricks, now how you going to build the house? You're not going to build the house. See, these are things I learned later in life that I wish I would have learned when I was younger. You have, from day one, you teenagers and stuff, you have to save. Save your money. If you live around a bunch of thieves and stuff, you find you a place that they don't know about and don't discuss what you have. And matter of fact, most of you don't discuss what you have. Wait until you're successful and discuss some of what you have with the enemies after you protect it. All them people who treat you based on what you have, you show them your success from an economic standpoint. But you escape the matrix by owning land, by saving money, by investing, and by having a little bit of everything. Like this Bitcoin stuff, get you some Bitcoin. You get you some stocks and some bonds, and have you some liquid cash on hand, and have you some land, and have you a couple vehicles and some gas. Own. But focus on building the money first. Give yourself a goal. Okay, I got to get 10,000. Okay, now I got 10. I got to get up to 20. Okay, now I got to get up to 100. Now I got to get up to 1,000,000. And then as you get higher, you buy something that you need and you buy something that you want. Don't want. Because see what happens. What happens if you make 5,000 and now you done made 4,700 in bills? You only got 300 left. You're not a threat. You're in the matrix. You're in the matrix. And some of you do not never be afraid to file bankruptcy. When you mess up, clean it up and do better next time. So don't be afraid to file bankruptcy. So yeah, that's the way you get out, is by building your finances up. Build them up. Don't ship out more than you got coming in. And some of y'all, you sitting at home watching TV, you being programmed. You get out of the matrix by working when it comes to money. Work. Don't let your girl is, oh, you don't spend no time with. If she's not helping you build, and she's talking about, if she's not helping you accumulate, and she's talking about how much you gone, she's becoming a liability for you. She's going to keep you, she's going to pull you back in the matrix. And don't be having all these babies either. Which brings us to our next one, sex. Sex. How do you, the matrix of sex is prawn, trying to impress people. You out here, you working out just so people will say you look good instead of to be good and to feel good for yourself. That's all the matrix of sex. That's all the matrix. How do you escape the matrix? By learning to control your lust. You learn to control your lust. Make yourself go without. If you having a masturb issue, you know what I'm talking about? Start going, okay, I'm going to go a whole day. Okay, I'm going to go 2 days, 3, 4, a week, month. You start thinking about that, just take your mind somewhere else. Go read a book. Go do something else. Go do some push-ups. Go do anything. If all you think about is what girl you like and what girl you does, you gotta get rid of those thoughts. And you gotta learn how to control that. You gotta understand that if you don't learn how to control your sexual passions, you're going to be just like a lot of these other people who are being brought down, everything they accumulate, by the Me Also movement and by the catching cases and child support and all this other stuff. Learn how to control. Remember how you're supposed to view people. You treat people good. You treat them respectfully, but you don't esteem them. The only being that you should be esteeming is the Most High. Everybody else, let them prove themselves to you. And that's not even narcissism. That's not even narcissism. Don't get in no relationship and don't make yourself feel like you got to be in a relationship until you done built yourself up and escaped the matrix. And then you find somebody that either has escaped themselves or is willing to escape this system of doing things. Because if they in there, they're going to find a way to bring you back in there too. So you learn how to control your passions. Learn how that's a want and not a need. Getting fulfillment from physical contact is a want, not a need. You need to stay healthy. You need to eat. You need to drink water. Those are needs, not physical contact. And as long as you learn that, you'll stop spending your money. A lot of these young dudes, I watch them. Like everything they do is based on getting that. They don't have no real goals, no real ambitions. They just want to buy the clothes and buy the things that attracts that. Because they're in the matrix. They're in the matrix. So how do you escape? By learning to control yourself and by learning that these are not needs. A wife is not a need. It's a want. The Most High didn't say that it was a need. He said it's not good that man should be alone. He didn't say they need it. See, Adam was doing just fine. But he wanted him to do better. You know, if you got a real wife, which is a rarity nowadays, then you will actually do better. But you got to learn how to control yourself, because a lot of these women, they will use, and they are using sex as means of punishment and reward towards men. And anybody that people doing that to, you in the matrix. Like you need to escape. You need to escape. If your wife doing that to you, you need to sit down, try to get her to stop doing that, and tell her face to face, listen, if you're not enjoying activities with me, then perhaps you can go and find someone that you're going to enjoy activities with. But you more than likely are going to deal with some costs associated to that. But that's okay. Because if you're with somebody that's not helping you build, then you get rid of them and you keep climbing your way out of the matrix. So that's the next one. It's SEX. You have to learn how to control yourself. You have to learn that those are wants, not needs. It's not something that you can't live without. Compare it to not drinking water. And you tell me which one is going to have more damage. If you went a year without water, which is impossible, or you went a year without SEX, are you going to still be alive if you go a year without SEX? Yeah, you'll still be alive. You'll still be alive. You can't even go a month without water. So what's that telling you? What's that telling you? Video is getting kind of long. Let's see. Do I want to add anything else to this list? Oh, yeah. Next aspect of the matrix is your personal relationships, friendships, social media, online gaming, online Snapchat, Instagram, all of that stuff. Yeah, let's add that in there. That's matrix. You can go without it. And what do you need to do? What do you need to do? You need to start deleting. You need to start deleting anybody that makes you feel bad about yourself. Whether you have a good post and they don't like it. Either you stop going on there so much if you choose to keep it, or you just begin to delete people off. Delete them, delete them, delete them, delete them, delete them. Because if they're not fulfilling you, if they're not helping you build, if they're not adding positivity to you, your mind, your body, delete. 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 You guys stop validating. Y'all all in these chicks' DMs. Delete. You in the matrix. You keeping her in the matrix by sweating her so much. You in the matrix. Again, going back to the last point I made. Which do you need more? You need water or women? Water or women? Which one can you go without? Can you go without water? Some of y'all pay more attention to people than water. So what you do is you begin to build yourself up physically. You start working out. Oh, yeah. You just go in there and look at women. Man, shut up. Stop letting these people have a place. Start ignoring people. If you need to go to a gym, if you can't work out at home or you don't have the equipment that you want to use, go to a gym, and the minute you see them doing all that stuff, go all the way across the room in the corner somewhere. Don't make it obvious, because then you know how people is. They'll try to cancel you somehow. Just go do your thing, work out, and leave. Work out and leave. Come home, eat right. Look at your stock portfolio. Look at your stuff. You know, study the Bible, pray. Be thankful that the Most High is still allowing you to live, and try to grow closer to Him and see what it is He wants. and understand that the world is, the Bible called it wickedness. You look at 1 John, said the whole world lieth in wickedness. Wickedness is the matrix. Wickedness is like the mud that a pig waddles in. The pig don't see the mud as wickedness. The pig see the mud as comfort, because they're a pig. It's comfortable for them. So yeah, these are some of the ways you get out. And like when you out and about and people, you put your signal on, people speed up. I can't stand that. I can't stand when people try to beat me to a point. Like where they got to go is more important. Let them go. Let them blow their horn, whatever they going to do. Don't let it get a rise out of you. Just keep your mind focused on what it is that you need and what it is that you want. And the only people you should be close to is people who want you to have what you want and want you to have what you need. And if they not helping you get there, or they acting like they like happy about your failures in life, learn who to have in there and who not to. Don't be ashamed to cut anybody off or shut anybody out. And don't be too guarded to let somebody in that you might need to let in. Like if it's somebody trying to get out of the mortgage, the matrix, well, the matrix mortgage is matrix. They trying to get out of the matrix and you pulling them out, and they trying to come out, they coming out, keep pulling them. But if you trying to pull somebody out and they trying to pull you in, stop talking to them. Let them stay in there. Let them do their D-rugs. Let them be addicted to D-rugs or whatever else they're going to do. But if they're addicted to D-rugs, don't let them come past your front door. Don't let them in your house. Keep them away from your kids, regardless of who they are. Because people will they'll find a way to drag you in. If they know that you could be an extremely violent person, but yet you have control over your emotions, and they start picking with you, trying to get you to go there, you need to just leave these, get away from around them, quit that job, whatever it is. Jobs just over broke is definitely matrix. But anyway, this video is at 28 minutes. So I'm going to close. This is the truth, man. Get out of that matrix before it's too late, because the matrix has an end point. There's an end point to the matrix, and it's not the kingdom of God. So you need to be focused on getting out in every way, because every component of it, it's like a labyrinth maze. You don't get out and you don't find your way out, you're going to take a turn that's going to make you even further in. You ain't going to be able to get out. So think about these things. And I'll see you on the next video. This is the truth, man. No matrix, no simping, all subjects channel.